Welcome to Bible Study with Fred. Um, we're going to be discussing Genesis 14, 1 to 12 today. So I'm going to read from the King James Version, the Authorized Version, and then have a few comments. And you should turn there and look at this and then have your own thinking about it. So 1 to 12. And it came to pass in the days of Amraphel, king of Shinar, Arioch, king of Elasar, Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of nations, that these made war with Bera, king of Sodom, and with Bersha, king of Gomorrah, Shinab, king of Admah, and Shemeber, king of Zeboam, and king of Bela, which is Zoar. All these were joined together in the vale of Siddim, which is the salt sea. 12 years they served Chedorlaomer, and in the 13th year they rebelled. There's that 13 in the number of rebellion again. And the 14th year came Chedorlaomer, and the kings that were with him, and smote the Rephaims in Ashtaroth, Karnaim, and the Zuzums in Ham, and the Emims in Sheba Kiriathaim, and the Horites in their Mount Seir unto El Paran, which is by the wilderness. And they returned and came to En-Mishpat, which is Kadesh, and smote all the country of the Amalekites, and also the Amorites that dwelled in Hazazon Tamar. And there went out the king of Sodom, and the king of Gomorrah, and the king of Admah, the king of Zeboam, and the king of Bela, the same as Zoar, and they joined battle with them in the vale of Siddim, with Chedorlaomer, the king of Elam, and with Tidal, king of nations, and Amraphel, king of Shinar, and Arioch, king of Elasar, 4 kings but 5. And the vale of Siddim was full of slime pits, and the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled and fell there, and they that remained fled to the mountain. And they took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah, and all their victuals, and went their way. And they took Lot, Abram's brother's son, who dwelt in Sodom, and his goods, and departed. Now, Amraphel was a king of Shinar, which remember is the plain of Mesopotamia where Babylon was built. I do apologize for any mispronunciations. In the 1800s, scholars identified Amraphel with Hammurabi, a famous Babylonian king noted for a legal code that archaeologists found. Jewish rabbinic sources from the Middle Ages identify him with Nimrod. Some modern scholars have elected even another candidate. However, we only know from the Bible that he was allied with other kings mentioned in their assistance of the king of Elam in retaining his power over the cities of Canaan, which rebelled, interestingly enough, in the 13th year of their submission. Here's one example, as I mentioned earlier, of a period where Egypt did not exercise suzerainty over Canaan. Arioch was thought a century ago to be a king who reigned contemporaneously with Hammurabi, excuse me, over the Sumerian city Larsa. Chedorlaomer, listed as the king of Elam here, who ruled over Canaanite cities and is here with his allies attempting to reestablish control. Tidal, king of nations, as he must reign over multiple people groups, is listed as another ally. These kings over small but growing empires are trying to bring back under authority kings over cities that would have been no more militarily mighty than the modern mayor of a small town would hope to be, if that mayor had armed citizens to fight for him. It wouldn't have taken a very large and expensive expedition to teach these people a lesson. While others were disunited and weak, the kings of Sodom, Gomorrah, Admah, Zeboam, and Bela, Zoar, joined together to oppose this conquering force. The battle was joined, and the rebellious kings and their forces fled, with the kings leading Sodom and Gomorrah's forces falling in battle. So, Sodom and Gomorrah, the cities, were plundered along with their goods. Lot and his possessions, possibly his family too, were taken. Remember, the king of an ancient city was also its high priest. I want to add another point here that will be significant in the next passage. Diarchy, where 2 kings ruled at the same time, was known in the ancient world, the most famous of which was the city-state of Sparta in Greece. It is possible that this condition existed in at least some city-states of the ancient Near East, because a second king of Sodom is mentioned in the next passage, in addition to the one that fell in battle. It's likely that one king was a religious figure and one went to war and held administrative functions, as is what happened early in Rome. Warfare against a city included warfare against its gods and its religion. Excuse me. Nothing was spared. But these kings are more intent on reestablishing authority than on complete destruction. There are 2 worlds fighting here: the world of empires and control over different peoples versus the world of petty kings, priests over a specific location, what we would today consider to be nothing more than a small town with walls, a religion and gods of his own with family gods as well. And we'll start in verse 13 next time. Hope you'll dig into your Bible and study this. Thank you.